So day 13 of the war, what's happening on the ground? What's happening in Ukraine? There have been attacks in several cities that have been reported overnight. In Kharkiv, where we've seen the maximum fighting, the most disturbing images in the last few days, 133 civilians, including 5 children, were killed in Russian shelling. Over 400 people also reportedly injured, severely injured in the shelling. You can see that the casualty count right now is dramatically going up. In Sumy region, Russian planes dropped bombs on residential areas. Again, it's being told that the casualty count is extremely high. Ukrainians, however, in the face of so much of violence and destruction, have refused to give up. Their fight back continues. They shot down a Russian plane over the capital city of Kiev. That's what we're also putting out on your screens there. You see the big boom and a massive explosion. That was a plane that was shot down close to the capital of Kiev. In Zhytomyr, Russian missiles struck an oil depot, and that led to a massive explosion and a raging fire that's been on for hours now. You see the kind of huge ball of fire there lighting up the night sky. And this is because tankers off that depot were targeted by Russians. They've been largely targeting energy hubs across Ukraine. The third round of talks were held between Ukraine and Russia. These talks particularly focused on improving logistics of humanitarian corridor and also a ceasefire to ensure civilians can get out as soon as possible. Amid the all-out war and Russian missiles, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has remained a picture of courage and defiance. He's put out his latest video where Zelensky has dared the Russian army by defiantly giving out his location. He's shooting a video there of where exactly he is, showing his window view, and then turns it into a selfie mode, walks through the corridors to show that he is very much in Kiev, and says that he's at the Bankova street, adding that he's not in hiding, neither is he afraid. This amid a time when there have been several reports suggesting that Zelensky had actually fled his own country. He's reiterated that he's very much there, leading the fight. Zelensky, in the message after that, promised to wage an unrelenting war to keep his country free and safe. Take a look at that extremely dramatic video.
Ось вечірній Київ. Понеділок, вечір. Ви знаєте, ми звикли говорити понеділок день важкий. В країні війна, тож кожен день понеділок. Я залишаюсь тут, залишаюсь у Києві, на Банковій, не ховаючись і нікого не боюсь, стільки, скільки потрібно, щоб перемогти у цій нашій вітчизняній війні.
What's happening in Kiev is shocking. You see those images on your screens of how many airstrikes are being reported in the capital, even as around the capital city, Russian troops are inching closer and closer, and they want to surround Kiev. People, therefore, are trying to flee. Many of them are staying put, but they're seeking refuge away from their homes in places of worship because they believe that Russians will not attack any religious structure. India Today gets you this exclusive report. Rajesh Pawar reporting from the St. Sophia's Cathedral in Kiev.
Behind me is the big cathedral of Santa Sophia. It's a 1,000-year-old cathedral and one of the biggest centers of Orthodox Christianity. Ukrainians believe that Russians will never attack this church because Russians revere this church as much as the Ukrainians, as both these countries, people, both Ukrainians and Russians, follow the same faith, Orthodox Christianity. And they believe if anybody damages this church, then they will be cursed, evil will come to them. And that is the reason they believe that Russians will never attack this place. And this square is called Santa Sophia Square, one of the busiest square in Kiev in normal days. And look how deserted it looks right now. This is Rajesh Pawar for India Today.
So the Russian convoy is slowly making its way towards Kiev. Several residents have fled the city in the last 12 days. There's a cultural center 40 kilometers from Kiev that's now been converted into a help and distribution center. Geeta Mohan visited the center. Take a look at this report.
40 kilometers from Kiev city. This is Mosaic. And this is their cultural center, which now has become center to collect all the supplies that can be distributed to various villages, from food supplies to blankets over there, to a lot of essential toiletries. All of that being collected and then being distributed. Their pillows, drinks, stuff for children, for infants. At one point in time over here, people would come, villagers would come to enjoy maybe a play, musical, people, young children singing. But today, this has become a place where all of them are on board to ensure that the supplies that have been cut off do not render them absolutely helpless and do not have people in the villages starving. And that's the reason why you see a lot of the community people, villagers who come together from various parts just to get things together and help each other in these difficult times. With video journalist Pavan Kumar, this is 40 kilometers away from Kiev. Geeta Mohan for India Today.
So Ukraine continues to hold up against aggressive Russian advance. Ukraine, in fact, is claiming that even as Russia is upping its airstrikes, they're shooting down several of Russian war machines. They've said that they've shot down more than 7 Russian war machines in the last 3 days. This includes jets and even Mi-35 choppers, a claim that Russia has countered.
Russia fiercely escalates airstrikes on Ukraine. It is using its fighter jets to hit key Ukrainian cities. In the last 72 hours, Putin has unleashed the fury of Russia's Hellbirds on Kiev and Kharkiv. Ukraine claims to have shot down a Sukhoi Su-34 fighter bomber in Kharkiv on Monday. They have released images of the debris of a Russian plane, completely destroyed and demolished. Ukraine also claims it has shot down more than 7 Russian war machines in the last 3 days, including jets and Mi-35 choppers. Ukrainian authorities have shared several images of pilots who they claim are Russians now in their custody. Russia is using its formidable air superiority to control Ukraine's skies. The most visible Russian aircraft in the Ukraine war is the Sukhoi Su-25, a tough Soviet-era bird that's taken on most attack duties. The Mi-24 is also being used by the Russian forces. They are sturdy, heavily armed, and used to support ground troops. The third Russian aircraft seen in the skies over Ukraine is the Sukhoi Su-34, a supersonic medium-range fighter bomber used for tactical strikes. Su-34 have been in eastern and northern Ukraine. Another Russian attack helicopter on combat duty is the Kamau Ka-52. These images of one such helicopter made to force land went viral during the early days of the invasion. Several more are said to be flying sorties on the northern border. The images coming from Ukraine show Russia's plans are striking deeper inside Ukraine than earlier believed. These airstrikes could be the prelude to the real battle for Kiev. Bureau Report, India Today.